In the bleak and unpredictable world of Project Zomboid, a pervasive atmosphere of danger casts a shadow over every decision, every moment of rest. It's a realm where the false security of a barricaded room can be shattered in an instant by the relentless undead, where the very air seems thick with the threat of infection. This guide delves deep into the heart of survival, where the constant fear of a single bite hangs over survivors like a specter, reminding them that safety is but an illusion. As the sun sets over the ruins of civilization, the once familiar streets transform into a maze of shadows, each corner harboring potential doom. The act of barricading, often a survivor's first instinct, becomes a desperate attempt to delay the inevitable. In Project Zomboid, the zombies are ever persistent, drawn to the slightest sound, the faintest light. The game meticulously crafts an environment where the line between life and death is as thin as a barricade plank, reminding players that their fortifications are temporary shields against a tireless foe. The very mechanics of survival in this world underscore the futility of complacency. Even the most fortified sanctuary can become a tomb if one is not vigilant. The game's detailed simulation of zombie behavior, their attraction to noise, their relentless pursuit, their memory of disturbances, creates a dynamic where the undead feel ever present, always just beyond the barricade, waiting. In this guide, we explore the strategies that transcend mere physical defenses. We delve into the tactics of evasion, the art of moving silently through a city that no longer belongs to the living. We discuss the strategic importance of choosing your battles, of knowing when the risk of confrontation outweighs the potential reward. Here in the shadow of the apocalypse, knowledge and cunning are the true keys to survival. But even beyond the immediate threats, Project Zomboid challenges survivors to confront the long-term realities of existence in a world reclaimed by the dead. The creation of aerial bases, the collection of rainwater, the cultivation of rooftop gardens. These are not mere strategies for survival, but acts of defiance against the apocalypse itself. They represent a refusal to succumb to despair, a determination to carve out a semblance of normalcy amid chaos. Yet the game never lets you forget the fragility of your existence. The possibility of a bite, the sudden outbreak of fire, the ever-looming threat of being overrun remind you that in Project Zomboid, safety is a fleeting dream. This guide is not just a collection of survival tactics. It's an invitation to navigate the delicate balance between fear and hope, between the struggle to survive and the fight to reclaim a piece of the world lost to darkness. Welcome to Project Zomboid, where every day survived is a victory against the odds, and every nightfall, a reminder that the world of the undead, the greatest danger, is the belief that you are ever truly safe. In the treacherous landscape of Project Zomboid, the unforgiving nature of the infection rate serves as a grim reminder of the stakes at play. A single bite from one of the undead guarantees infection, sealing the fate of any survivor unlucky enough to find themselves on the receiving end. This brutal mechanic underscores the paramount importance of avoiding zombie encounters at all costs. Stealth, vigilance, and an acute awareness of one's surroundings become indispensable tools in the survivor's arsenal, as the game transforms into a high-stakes dance with death, when even the slightest misstep can be fatal. The zombies of Project Zomboid are not mindless wanderers. They are driven by their perception of the world around them. Attracted by sights and sounds, they are capable of investigating the origins of disturbances within their environment. This behavior pattern introduces a layer of complexity to survival, compelling players to carefully consider their actions. Noise management and visual discretion becomes critical strategies, as survivors must navigate the delicate balance between resource acquisition and the risk of attracting unwanted attention. The undead in Project Zomboid possess a rudimentary memory, allowing them to gather in areas where they last detected noise or visual stimuli. This mechanic not only adds depth to their behavior, but also amplifies the threat they pose. Areas of previous activity can become hotspots of zombie congregations, making return trips or escapes more perilous. It challenges players to constantly adapt their strategies, reinforcing the game's emphasis on dynamic survival tactics. Despite their relentless pursuit, zombies exhibit limitations in their interactions with the game's environment. While they cannot open doors, their capacity to break them down introduces a critical vulnerability in any survivor's defense. Securing entry points thus becomes a non-negotiable aspect of base fortification, driving home the necessity of maintaining a well-defended sanctuary against the ceaseless tide of the undead. Stair navigation, or the lack thereof, among zombies introduces an interesting dimension to the game's strategic depth. Their typical avoidance of stairs unless directly attracted by noise or sight offers survivors a tactical advantage. This behavior allows for strategic player movement and evasion, enabling survivors to manipulate zombie movements and secure upper floors as safer havens, provided they remain vigilant against the undead's capacity to follow sounds and visual cues. The concept of losing zombies by breaking their line of sight plays into the core survival mechanics of Project Zomboid. This possibility offers a glimmer of hope in the bleak reality survivors face. By exploiting the zombies' behavior, players can devise escape routes, use buildings to break line of sight, and even utilize the environment to create distractions. It emphasizes the importance of cunning and agility over brute force, offering survivors a fighting chance to live another day. Together, these elements weave a complex tapestry of survival, strategy, and horror in Project Zomboid. The game masterfully balances the constant danger posed by the undead with opportunities for players to leverage their understanding of zombie behaviors to their advantage. It's a relentless test of survival, where knowledge, strategy, and the will to endure are the keys to making it through another night. In the harrowing world of Project Zomboid, the strategies for survival often revolve around fortification and securing one's shelter against the ceaseless tide of the undead. Yet as survivors dig deeper into the mechanics of defense, the ephemeral nature of safety becomes starkly evident, revealing a landscape where even the most fortified sanctuary can eventually fall. Utilizing a hammer, planks, and nails to add layers of protection to doors and windows forms the bedrock of early survival tactics. This approach, straightforward and accessible, allows survivors to create a physical barrier against the undead. The process of fortifying a home can imbue a fleeting sense of security, offering a buffer against the horrors lurking outside. However, the effectiveness of these measures is inherently limited by the game's sophisticated mechanics, where zombies are drawn to disturbances and can detect player-made modifications. Advancing to metalworking, survivors can enhance their barricades, replacing wooden planks with sturdy metal sheaths. This upgrade requires not just materials, but a refined skill set, representing a significant investment in time and resources. Despite the apparent strength of these fortifications, they too offer only a temporary respite. Zombies, ever adaptive and relentless, prioritize attacks on these reinforced barriers, challenging the notion that any defense is impregnable. Project Zomboid's AI mechanics imbue zombies with a keen sense of player alterations to the environment. Every construction or modification, down to the movement of furniture, can attract undead attention. This dynamic was introduced to counteract previous exploits that allowed players to manipulate zombie pathing, creating seemingly invincible fortresses. As players experimented with complex barricades like the fence crate fence blockade, the game evolved, adapting to these strategies and maintaining a balance that prevents any tactic from becoming too dominant. In the face of higher zombie populations, the law of diminishing returns comes into full effect. Resources and time poured into constructing and maintaining defenses often outweigh the benefits, as no structure can withstand the endless waves of the undead forever. This reality pushes survivors to reconsider their approach, suggesting that true safety might not lie in the strength of walls, but in the ability to remain unseen and mobile. The evolving understanding of defense mechanics in Project Zomboid prompts a shift in survival philosophy. Instead of investing disproportionately in temporary barricades, survivors are encouraged to explore alternative methods of ensuring safety. The strategies of stealth, mobility, and resource management emerge as more sustainable paths to survival, underscoring the need for adaptability in the face of an ever-changing threat landscape. This exploration into the mechanics of defense and the behavior of zombies in Project Zomboid reveals a nuanced survival experience, where understanding and adapting to the game's dynamics are crucial. In the next section, we will delve deeper into these alternative survival methods, offering insights into navigating the dangers of Knox County with a focus on longevity and resourcefulness, illustrating that sometimes the best defense is to avoid confrontation altogether. In Project Zomboid, where the ever-present threat of zombies looms large, survivors must employ every tactic at their disposal to carve out a semblance of safety amid chaos. The strategic use of sledgehammers to demolish staircases, thereby securing upper floors from zombie access, evolves from a mere survival tactic to a fundamental cornerstone of stronghold defense. This action, while effective, carries the weight of permanence, demanding survivors to balance the immediate security it offers against the long-term ramification of isolating themselves from the ground level. The introduction of sheet ropes as makeshift escape routes injects a dynamic layer of strategy into the survivor's playbook. These ropes offer a lifeline, a means to navigate the vertical landscape they've created in their bid for safety. However, the fragility of these ropes against the undead relentless onslaught introduces a precarious risk, reminding survivors that their fortifications are only as secure as their weakest link. The potential of being stranded, coupled with the looming threat of zombie destruction, highlights the critical importance of contingency planning and the constant reassessment of survival strategies. Rebuilding stairs, a resource-intensive endeavor, becomes a decision fraught with strategic implications. The significant investment required to reverse the demolition of staircases places a premium on thoughtful decision-making, urging survivors to consider alternative measures to maintain mobility and access within their safe zones. The tactical destruction of floor tiles adjacent to staircases emerges as a nuanced alternative, offering a method to control zombie access without the permanence of staircase demolition. This approach underscores the game's emphasis on strategic resource management, allowing survivors to adapt their defenses with minimal expenditure. Moreover, the capacity to dismantle walls for construction purposes broadens the horizon of possibilities for base building. This capability encourages a creative engagement with the game's environment, challenging survivors to rethink traditional concepts of space and security in the post-apocalyptic landscape. The construction of floors and bridges between buildings further exemplifies the depths of strategic base building in Project Zomboid. By exploiting the game's construction mechanics, survivors can expand their safe havens, forge pathways between resources, and erect aerial bases that stand as beacons of human resilience. These constructions not only facilitate strategic advantages in terms of mobility and access, but also reflect the survivors' defiance against the apocalypse, a testament to their will to endure against all odds. In the world of Project Zomboid, the construction of rooftop gardens offers a beacon of sustainability, and self-reliance amidst the desolation of the zombie apocalypse. By utilizing rooftops as arable land, survivors can harness the simplicity of gathering soil with a trowel, filling empty sacks, and spreading this soil across roof tiles to create fertile ground. This process transforms barren spaces into productive gardens, where seeds can be sown to grow food that sustains life in these isolated sanctuaries. The act of gardening itself, beyond providing sustenance, becomes a symbol of hope and normalcy, a reminder of life's resilience. The versatility of soil tiles extends beyond agriculture, supporting the building of campfires for warmth and cooking. This ingenious use of space and resources allows survivors to maintain a semblance of domestic normalcy, cooking meals and staying warm, whether on the rooftop, under the open sky, or within the confines of their safe haven. The ability to cook and heat with campfire indoors, especially during the harsh winters, offers critical survival advantages, although it necessitates careful water management to nurture the plants manually. Rainwater collection becomes an integral part of rooftop gardening, capitalizing on nature's provision to sustain the garden. The collected water not only irrigates the plants efficiently, providing a direct lifeline to the seeds, but also serves as a crucial drinking supply for survivors. The system of rainwater collection exemplifies the innovative adaptations survivors make to thrive, turning challenges of survival into opportunities for resourcefulness and ingenuity. The incorporation of electrical appliances into these aerial bases, powered by generators strategically placed on rooftops, marks a significant leap in quality of life post-apocalypse. Refrigerators preserve food, ovens cook it, and televisions offer a link to the world beyond, or at least a distraction from the grim realities outside. This semblance of normal living, powered by the hum of generators, brings comfort and the touch of pre-apocalypse civilization to the rooftops, making these elevated sanctuaries not just places of survival, but homes. Building on the concept of aerial bases in Project Zomboid, the strategy of converting gun shops into fortified refuges presents a practical extension of securing high ground advantages. The process begins with identifying a gun shop adjacent to another structure, like Twiggy's bar. What needs to be done here is to construct a bridge from the neighboring building to the gun shop roof, circumventing ground-level threats without direct confrontation with zombies or steel grates. Material acquisition for ramp construction is critical, involving the gathering of wood through felling trees or dismantling wooden constructions. This step not only facilitates access to the safe zone, but also demonstrates resourcefulness in utilizing environmental assets for survival. Once the rooftop is secured, using sheet ropes as means of access ensures that the area remains exclusive and protected from zombie intrusion. The next phase involves transforming this space into a livable area. Installation of basic living necessities, such as a sleeping area, kitchen appliances, a generator, and a rain barrel, converts the gun shop roof into a self-sustaining habitat. A key feature of this strategy is the addition of a rooftop garden, which enhances self-sufficiency by providing a renewable food source. This approach not only secures a safe perimeter, but also addresses long-term survival needs by ensuring a steady supply of food and water. The setup of such a comprehensive base, while demanding in terms of materials, tools, and skills like carpentry, offers substantial benefits. It elevates the survival experience from mere endurance to a sustainable and secure living situation. This method showcases a sophisticated understanding of survival tactics in Project Zomboid, emphasizing the importance of high ground control, resource management, and the creation of self-sufficient sanctuaries in the face of the apocalypse. The essence of true safety within the gun shop shielded by metal gratings, highlights the rare moments of peace in the chaos. Once inside, survivors find themselves in a sanctuary where the threat of the undead is held at bay, allowing for a momentary breath of relief in the constant fight for survival. Central to achieving these feats of survival are the essential tools of the trade: the hammer, saw, screwdriver, and sledgehammer. Each tool serves a specific purpose, from constructing defenses to modifying the environment to suit the needs of the survivors. The hammer and saw are indispensable for crafting, while the screwdriver is used for disassembling doors. Meanwhile, the sledgehammer offers brute force, capable of breaking down barriers and creating new pathways. In conclusion, Project Zomboid challenges players not just to survive, but to ingeniously manipulate the environment to create safe havens amidst the apocalypse. Through strategic planning, utilization of essential tools, and the deep understanding of the game's mechanics, survivors can carve out pockets of safety in a world eager to claim them. As we navigate the complexities and challenges of survival in the world of Project Zomboid, it becomes clear that while fortifications, strategic locations, and resourceful tactics form the bedrock of enduring the undead onslaught, flexibility in strategy and having a plan B are equally crucial. Not every survivor will have immediate access to a sledgehammer or the means to erect elaborate defenses. In such scenarios, the wisdom lies in simplicity and the strategic choice of location. Venturing into less populated or remote areas emerges as a sound strategy for those seeking safety away from the relentless hordes of zombies. Remote farms scattered across the countryside offer not just tranquility, but a lower risk of undead encounters. These serene locations can provide ample resources for sustainable living, from farming to water collection, all while keeping survivors under the radar of the zombie masses. Similarly, the Louisville Army Base, with its strategic advantages and supply caches, stands as a beacon for those capable of navigating its challenges. The key here is to weigh the benefits of isolation against the potential scarcity of resources and the need for self-sufficiency. For beginners and those less familiar with the harsh realities of Project Zomboid, Riverside presents as an appealing starting point. Its beginner-friendly nature, characterized by a lower zombie population and more accessible resources, offers a gentler introduction to the survival mechanics that define the game. Riverside's layout and the distribution of resources allow new players to familiarize themselves with the core gameplay elements in a relatively safe environment, building the foundations of skill and knowledge needed to venture into more perilous territories. Survival in Project Zomboid is as much about the grand plans and fortified strongholds as it is about the ability to adapt, to reassess, and to find safety in simplicity when the situation demands. The strategic selection of a starting location, be it the remote tranquility of a countryside farm, the strategic positioning of the Louisville Army Base, or the welcoming, beginner-friendly environments of Riverside, can set the stage for a survivor's journey. These strategies underscore the importance of adaptability, highlighting that sometimes the best plan B doesn't require a sledgehammer, but a keen sense of direction and the will to survive against all odds. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the apocalypse. If you found this guide helpful, consider subscribing for more insights, tips, and strategies to help you survive the undead horde. Your support helps me create content that guides you through the darkest nights and the most desperate struggles for survival. Until next time, stay safe.